So this weekend is an exciting weekend if you're an F1 fan because you're returning to Canada. And truth be told, you hadn't seen a Canada race. 2022, you saw it for the first time in 3 years because 2020 and 21, no races. Normally, it's a circuit that racers love, fans certainly love, except if you're on this side of the planet because you have to stay up till really late at night to watch the races. 1:30 a.m. is when qualifying starts, by the way.
Oh wow, I'll pass out.
I think I'll be up for it, and if I am, well, you guys can join me. We'll be talking about it afterwards. But anyway, on the race, and the first question you have to ask, which I have a one-word answer for, and I suspect you would as well. Is anyone challenging Red Bull for the win this weekend?
No.
No, exactly. Now,
Not for this year. Not at all.
maybe the second half of the year if you're being really optimistic,
During the European leg, yes.
or maybe after the summer break.
Could happen.
Good, but right now, no.
No.
So anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, important thing, let's talk about what the other teams are up to. Now you remember in Spain, Mercedes brought some big upgrade packages. It worked really well. They got a double podium. Aston Martin are doing the same this time around. And by the way, Mercedes throughout have been saying that we're expecting our rivals to be stronger on this particular track. So I think the main focus is not going to be on the fight in the front of the field, but once again at the back. In the back, and I mean all teams behind the Red Bull. So Mercedes versus Aston Martin continues to be the one fight which is really enthralling everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Because truth be told, that is the fight. And of course, Ferrari and strategies. But let's leave that one for another time.
That's a whole different league of fight.
In fact, we have another video which will be coming out. It'll be
Yes.
up sometime tomorrow in the morning. Guys can check that as well. Just a little bit of a teaser. But Aston Martin versus Mercedes. This has been, as I said, the defining fight.
Yeah.
And Mercedes went way ahead at Spain. But Aston Martin going to be competing here. They also have a weird advantage, you can say, because they have a hometown hero in that team. Lance Stroll, Canada's own.
Yeah.
He's going to be racing, and he was getting some big cheers, by the way,
Big.
from the Canadian fans. Obviously, I think they'd be expecting some strong performances from him as well. Because again, not just home race, he's been comprehensively outperformed by Alonso at this point. So what do you think? This could be that race?
No.
I have a very interesting answer on that, but I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
Later in the
But
show.
for now, I don't think Lance Stroll. I don't know. It's just we've talked about this before, and we were very harsh and critical. And I don't
Understandably so.
And I don't like saying this, but it is his dad's car, and he's in a safe spot over there.
Safest.
Safest spot in the F1 grid, I think, after someone like a Max Verstappen or a Lewis Hamilton.
No, he's safer than them. Their dads don't own the teams.
That's true. But I think that's what's happening. Nothing's really challenging him to do well or whatever. He knows he's safe. And Alonso has a lot to prove on the other hand. And he will do it because he's getting old. He didn't have a team for
A good team, really.
a good team, or before that he was seatless in the F1 grid. He wasn't there in the F1 grid.
Yeah, in fact, people thought he was retired.
Yeah,
He just hadn't. Yeah.
So, Alonso on the other hand has a lot to prove, and he is proving that. And I think Aston Martin will stick with him next year. Whatever that happens, I don't know. But this race, the free practices have been chaotic as well, one of them being called off.
Yeah, I mean, free practices is an understatement considering one of them, as you said, got called off.
Just free.
The second one was 90 minutes of them trying to drive through rain, torrential rain, to the point where Valtteri Bottas was saying this is great weather for ducks.
Yeah.
Probably not that good for F1 drivers. Right?
I know.
And he was
I
saying.
remember this completely off topic, but I remember this MotoGP race where there was a lot of, I think it was Monza, and it was raining, it was pouring to the point where there was a lot of aquaplaning and literally streams going down the track. So engineers and people and fans had brought rubber ducks, and they were racing them, and the cameraman the whole time for a good hour was focusing on that race.
Wow. But obviously it would have been, I mean, to be fair, that rain would have pretty much destroyed.
It was very interesting, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame them either. But yeah, you could be seeing, and speaking of rain, this rain, by the way, was not a one-off.
No.
You are expecting that rain to continue through the weekend, which is why there's going to be wildcards. And potentially, this is where you could very well see another team jump this thing. Because again, if you remove Red Bull's utter dominance, not just the top teams, even the midfield teams are very close. It's not much to pick between, say, an Alpine and a McLaren, really, because they've kind of had a bit of a resurgence as well. So there's not much to pick. But rain is that great equalizer.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to rain, when conditions like these appear in F1, it comes down to not pace,
Yeah.
not how fast your car is or how good your car is. It comes down to how good your strategy is when it comes to the tires.
Exactly.
Because driving on wets, we all know what happens, right? When that happens, but it's going to be all about strategy for the Canadian GP. I think very well it could be. I think it could be a Mercedes race.
It could, but again, if it's rainy, and I'm saying this with the full expectation that people are going to come after me very badly if I'm wrong. If it really is raining in qualifying,
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion Lance Stroll is going to do well. Do you know why?
Why?
His only ever pole came Turkey 2020
When it was pouring?
exactly. This guy is really good in wet conditions. Something happens to him. I don't know. Maybe it's because he grew up in Canada, where you're on snowy roads a lot of the
Yeah.
time. You tend to kind of figure out how to maneuver cars.
Yeah.
He was on another level that day. Like, I have never seen him drive better than that qualifying lap.
Yes.
So again, I'm saying if it's rainy, I'm expecting a really good rain. I'm not saying maybe pole, but I think he'll be up and about. But I
In the
think
top
you're
10?
right. Yeah, in the top 4-5.
Oh.
4-5. I'm expecting
Bold
him to.
call.
Pole,
Yeah.
maybe not. Because again, you have, Verstappen's very good in the wet. Alonso, master of the wet. Hamilton, master of wet. In these times, you'd favor them.
Yeah.
And even if Stroll gets pole, that rhymes, I expect that in the race he'll kind of be caught. Stroll gets pole.
Yeah.
But, if he does, and if he can, then again, in Turkey too, his race kind of fell apart with a pit stop and a
Right.
poor pit stop. They don't botch it up this time. Who knows?
In,
Lance Stroll Grand Prix winner?
Yeah.
Have
And
you
when
seen
you
that day?
when you look back onto the history, not history, but the recent past of F1 and teams and wet races, McLaren have been really good with their strategy.
Yeah, and McLaren, in fact, if you remember when they last won proper. Actually, no, I would disagree with you there. You know
Yeah.
why? Remember Russia to 2021?
Oh,
Lando.
yeah.
He chose to stay out when it was raining, and then what happened? He gifted the win away.
Damn.
Could have been his first win. That was a bad call
Yeah,
in
that was a
hindsight.
bad call.
In hindsight, that was a bad call.
But still, I think I'd rate McLaren's strategy pretty, not highly, but
But
then
they're good.
better than average.
Yeah, it's better than average for sure. And I think, again, if you're talking about the midfield teams, they'd be one team to watch because recently they've
Yeah.
started getting their act together. Piastri is
Yes.
showing genuine flashes of pace. And I really like that because I think a lot of people were very critical of him last year when he left Alpine the way he did. Blazing bridges, never mind
Yeah.
burning. But he's proven to himself a
Yeah.
pretty solid commodity thus far.
When it comes to McLaren, we a little bit of a teaser. We have this information about the new McLaren upgrades.
Which, by the
And,
way,
yeah, which is going to be a complete redesign, and that video will come out after the race ends, and we have
some more information,
some
let's say.
more information about it. But it's going to be a very, very interesting video to do. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, but okay, let's see. Prediction time. There's a
Okay.
lot going on and very little information that we have because again, free practice was
Nothing
a washout.
happened. Yeah.
In fact, in terms of like even if you're looking at the results, I won't wait. I never place too much weightage on free practice results. The Mercedes boys were 1-2. Doesn't matter for two reasons. One, it's free practice.
Yeah.
B, it's free practice in wet conditions.
Yes.
It's very freaky. But they've been good so far. They're showing results. Obviously, we're expecting the Red Bull of Max Verstappen to take the win. That's how dominant they've been. But the other podiums, I think, is going to be a close fight.
Yes.
Very close fight.
Top 3 predictions.
Okay, this is an easy one, but I'd say Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso.
Oh, really? I was going to say Verstappen, Alonso, and Hamilton.
So basically, we just switched
Switched,
around
yeah.
our second and third.
Yes.
Very interesting. No, why I went
But
for
I do see a Checo in there as well. But these are my top 3.
He could be up there somewhere. Why actually I went for Hamilton over Alonso here? It's because Hamilton's record in Canada is really good.
That's true.
Won his first race
But
here.
then,
Oh, and Rain is a master. 2008 British Grand Prix.
yeah, let's see.
Let's see. That's our predictions. You can let us know your predictions in the comments. For now, we'll take your leave. But thank you guys so very much for joining us. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, follow us on social media, and
Don't forget to download the AajTak app.
yeah, right now though, from Gargi and me, it's goodbye.